Nation, Delhi.
Good morning and welcome to Feeding Frenzy. Well, I'm at the Hare Rama guest house to have breakfast today. It's in Paharganj and it's in the main bazaar in case you look for it. And just to make you realize, they also have, they call it the Israeli restaurant, the restaurant they have on the rooftop, and they have Israeli text written all over, including the signboard right here, because the sheer amount of Israeli guests they have in this guest house. Well, as soon as you walk in, you have the reception on your right, and you also have this little store where you can, sort of like a grocery store, you can buy, you know, your grocery items and everything. You also have right there a cosmetic store with the, you know, products. And of course, a very important thing, they have their little travel agency here, and you can find this everywhere in Paharganj, little travel agents and little, you know, ticketing shops. And they also have this little leather product market right here, and it just leads, this whole area just leads into smaller rooms which have very interesting things, and they have items placed around quite randomly. And I think I can't waste any more time here because I also want to show you the rooftop restaurant, so let's go upstairs. Well, I'm on the rooftop terrace of Hare Rama guest house in Paharganj. Well, the first thing that I notice here, very open, very nice, spacious, and the fans are on, of course, because it's really warm now. And no smoking zone, but I see ashtrays on all the tables. What does that mean? Maybe it's talking about no smoking of some other kind. Well, let's get away from that. I just want to show you this really nice pool table they have here, you know, for recreational purposes. And of course, this is also called the Israeli restaurant just because of the sheer amount of Israeli guests that they do have here. And I saw a little notice up there that says, please take care of your belongings. We're not responsible for any loss. Well, anyway, so I'm here to try out the breakfast menu of, they say they have Israeli breakfast. So I want to try that out, but I'm also going to try it out with my guests who are waiting right here. Hi. So this is Toon. Toon is interning here for media, I think, television.
Media purposes in general, to serve the Indian public.
Okay, there you have it. And then this is Kripa, and she's she's a student of journalism, right? And you've been living here basically all your life in Delhi.
Yeah.
But you have not been to Paharganj.
No, not Paharganj.
You've heard of it, but you've never been to.
No, no.
Any specific reason why? Like, was it on purpose, or you just never crossed your mind, or you just want to try it?
I don't know. I live in Karol Bagh, so Paharganj is like...
It's a bit too far.
No, it's just like a stone throw, but I don't know.
It just never
Nothing came up for me to like come up.
Okay, great. So this is first time experience for you. And for you as well, Toon, because you've lived here for 5 months.
5 months, yes.
And how's your experience been in India so far?
It's very interesting. There are quite a lot of Indians. There's 1 billion of them, whereas in my country there's only 10 million people.
Oh, that's true. That's the first shock, isn't it? Apart from the cows and
you don't see them all together, the billion of people,
exactly.
but you know
that's what I get a lot from my friends from Europe. Because they tell me that just the sheer concentration of people on the road at one point is just a big thing. But what about food? Let's get to food. What do you think about Indian food? Have you adapted to it, or you got a bit of Delhi belly, or not yet?
A Delhi belly, that's a nice word. No, I don't have a Delhi belly. I have a belly, but not a Delhi belly. Actually, I eat daily the thali at work.
Oh, you do?
Yes, and there's no problem with that. When I drink too much of old monk, which is Indian, I don't feel so well. But the Indian breakfast, I don't really like. So.
Okay, because Indian breakfast, it could just be parathas, I think, and puris, so it's not much of a... But you've already browsed through the menu here, and what is your first impression of the place? What do you think about it? Just a bit offbeat, off your track, not a place you'd usually come to.
I like rooftops anyway. So
exactly, same here. As long as it's open and it's got the fans going, I think it's got a really nice feel to it, especially for the weather.
They got weird statues, so I like that also.
Just random statues
random
placed everywhere. That's a good thing you pointed out. I totally forgot to mention it. It's got random statues placed everywhere. And
I like breakfast. So I like the place.
Great. So she loves breakfast, and Toon, we're going to, of course...
breakfast too.
He also loves breakfast. So great. Speaking of breakfast, I have to head into the kitchen where I'm going to cook something with the chef. And we're going to have an Israeli breakfast. Well, it has eggs, hummus, salad, chips, pita bread, and you have a choice of tea or coffee. It's around 80 rupees. I think it's well worth it if I just look at it. And of course, to make the Israeli breakfast, I'm not going to do it. I always have someone to help me out, and I have Chef Salim here. Salim, thank you, shukriya for joining us. आप क्या बना रहे? Israeli breakfast. पहले कैसे start करेंगे? Eggs के साथ.
एग के साथ हम चिप्स देंगे.
अच्छा.
और एक लेट्स देंगे.
अच्छा.
और पिता ब्रेड, सलाद।
अच्छा, ये इजरायली ब्रेकफास्ट क्यों बुलाते हैं? हुमस और पिटा ब्रेड की वजह से? दीज टू आर द ओनली आइटम्स है ना जो इजरायली ब्रेकफास्ट। अच्छा, आप दिखाए यू गोना मेक सनी साइड अप या ऑमलेट, क्या बना? फ्राइड एग। So he's just making a fried egg, which is going to go along with our Israeli breakfast. And while he's just making his fried egg, I think they also have other items like falafel, and they have ziva, something called ziva, which is this. It has a tomato sauce and has an egg and has this very interesting bread shaped like an S. So that's ziva. They do have a lot of items, but of course a lot of the Israeli food they have on the menu is very similar to the Middle Eastern, let's say Lebanese items like the hummus and the falafel. And he's just waiting for the egg. It comes with एक अंडे के साथ आता है ये Israeli breakfast, या दो अंडे के साथ। Okay, so and आप chips भी fry करेंगे?
Chips भी fry करेंगे।
So he's just going to make the chips, just placing it inside. तो चिप्स के साथ क्या है वो?
लटकस।
और लटकस क्या है वो? लटकस
इसमें पोटैटो है,
हाँ,
धनिया है।
So basically आलू टिक्की जैसे?
आलू टिक्की है।
So very similar to aloo tikki, and they're giving French fries as well along with it. And I think he's ready with that. And pita bread, आप रेडीमेड पिटा ब्रेड है या बनाते हैं?
पिटा ब्रेड बनाते हैं
हम। ये ओवन के अंदर कितने घंटे रखते हैं आप?
बस 5 मिनट लगता है।
अच्छा, so there's the pita bread that he's going to place in the oven, and then it'll be ready, and we'll be having it. And pita bread, of course, is Lebanese bread, and this is how it looks, and it's very soft. And sometimes you get a much larger version as well, and slightly thinner. I guess this is the Israeli version. It's slightly fatter, and so I think we have the fries, we have the aloo tikki, and of course it goes with the salad as well. और सलीम जी, आप यहाँ पे कितने साल से काम कर रहे हैं?
13 साल से।
13 साल से यहीं पर हरे रामा गेस्ट हाउस में? हाँ, फिर व्हाट्स पॉपुलर आइटम क्या है यहाँ पर ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए?
ब्रेकफास्ट के लिए इजरायली ब्रेकफास्ट, जीवा, फतूत, मलावा।
क्योंकि यहाँ पर बहुत सारे इजरायली गेस्ट होते हैं ना। फिर आप हिब्रू बोलते हैं?
हिब्रू
नहीं बोलते। 13 साल से आपने नहीं सीखा? That's very interesting. 13 years he's been working with Israelis, and you know he hasn't learned any Hebrew. But anyways, ये इसके अंदर क्या क्या जाता है फ्लावर पिटा ब्रेड बनाने के लिए?
पिटा ब्रेड के अंदर चीनी जाता है, और नमक जाता है,
नमक, yeast, coffee बनाने के लिए yeast. So there you have it. They put salt and sugar in the pita bread. So I think we're just waiting for the अंडा हो गया. So we'll just place it on. So it's nearly done. We're just waiting for the fried eggs to complete our Israeli breakfast. So there you have it. Well, और hummus भी जाता है ना इसमें? Then we have the hummus as well, which is coming. That's chickpea. And so that's made out of chickpea paste. It's also Lebanese meze. It's a part of their meze, which is like an appetizer. So meze would be, which is also, so I guess they have a lot of similarities, you know, the Israelis and the Middle East. So we have the hummus, which is going to be, ये आप पहले से बना देते हैं?
पहले से बना के रखते हैं।
Okay, so there you have it. और ये आप अपने आप ग्राइंड करते हैं चिकपीस क्या ये बनाने के लिए, या होम मेड, हाउस मेड?
बॉईल करते हैं।
अच्छा, बॉईल करके फिर मैश करके। Okay, fine. All right. So I think that's complete, and the only thing that makes it Israeli, according to me, is the hummus and the pita bread. So this is going to go on the table, and I'm going to eat it. We have the